From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Brayden Neville.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ticats Today here on the Ticats Audio Network on this Thursday, June the 8th, 2023. I'm Brayden Neville and thank you for joining me today. The Ticats, they had their walkthrough today as they prepare for that first regular season game of the year. It feels weird saying it, but we're here. First regular season game of the year against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers tomorrow night in Winnipeg at 8:30 Eastern Time. Today, I'll be breaking down that upcoming matchup with the Blue Bombers, as well as hearing from guests Coach O and Levi Mitchell. But first, let's get to some news around the league. We've been talking about this new PFF partnership with the CFL, and basically what it is, it's a player grading and rating system that uses 200 different variables for analytic numbers. I know it's a lot of wording, but basically it's like a report card for the players. They just released some player ratings from last season. So what they did was they took the stats from last year and they gave all the players from last season a rating. These rankings will be updated throughout this season, but I thought it would be interesting just to look at some of these ratings that they came up with for players. We'll start with the quarterbacks. With a minimum of 100 passes, there are two Ticats in the top five. First, we have Matt Shiltz, who comes in with an 81.6 rating, and then Levi Mitchell followed closely behind with an 80.8. Tops on the QB list from last season was Nathan Rourke. He's no longer in the league, but he was a 91.9. At receiver, the Ticats had one receiver in the top 10 of the PFF rating system, and that's Tim White. However, there are several players with a much smaller sample size than Tim that are ahead of him on this list. At running back, Sean Thomas Erlington came in at 8th around the league with an 84 rating. Now, one category where the Ticats, well, they straight up dominated, and I mean legit dominated, was that O-line category. Brandon Revenberg came in at number 1 on the O-line list with a 77.9 grading. But I'm sure if you asked Rev, that isn't something he's really looking into much. But here's where it gets crazy. The Ticats have Joel Figueroa at number 2, David Beard at number 3, Alex Fontana at number 5, and Coulter Woodmansey at number 7. So that's 5 of the top 10 linemen just so happened to be Ticats. So it's safe to say, according to this PFF system, that Bo will have some solid protection heading into the season. Now on the D-line, we had Casey Sales at 3. DBs, that was another category where the Ticats had a very strong presence. Richard Leonard, Tunde Adeleke, and Chris Edwards all appeared in the top 10. And at linebacker, Jameer Thurman was the Ticat at number 6 on the list. Now, of course, these numbers are all from last year and don't necessarily scale everything about a player and their success rate. I get that. Totally understandable. It's just a new, interesting rating system. That's just another thing for guys like me and fans and coaches to look at, maybe to get a second input on players, and it's one that the NFL and NCAA have used for a long time. So those ratings will be something I'll be talking about as the season goes on. And speaking of the season, the Ticats are ready to kick it off tomorrow night against the Blue Bombers. And the Ticats have released their starting roster for the game tomorrow in Winnipeg. And some notables on that Cats roster. Chris Edwards, he'll be making his debut at Sam. Casey Sales will be playing against his old team, starting at defensive tackle. The return to Winnipeg, a team he's won the Grey Cup with. Another player making the Ticats debut is Javian Elliott at halfback on that defense. And Lawrence Woods, he'll be starting at corner and also will be the kick and punt returner for the Ticats. On the other side of the ball on that offense, the much anticipated debut of James Butler at running back. Well, it'll be exciting to watch as it will be the first time the Ticats have had an 1,000-yard rusher the previous season on the team come week 1. At receiver, Chris Osekusi will make the start at wide receiver for his Cats debut. Rookie Omar Bayless gets the start, and the one and only Levi Mitchell. We've been talking about him all camp long, all preseason long, and now we're going to be talking about him in Game 1. He will be commanding that offense, and I spoke to him about that Ticats debut, which we will get to in just a bit, but first, here's Coach O. Are you ready to get started here and get game number 1 under the belt?
Definitely. It is time to play a game. We've looked at ourselves long enough. We had a couple of preseason tune-ups, but, for our first unit, they really haven't played together for any time longer and, other than a few series in the games. But, of course, they're together in practice, but it's time to see where we're at.
And Bo's going to be making that debut. What have you noticed about how he's been commanding the offense in practices and training camp?
It's going to be ongoing with Bo, right? He's done things a certain type of way for, 10 or so years, and he's had, the nucleus of that team, and so this is a new team. Bo's going to be Bo. He's going to be prepared. He's a winner, and he's going to put his best foot forward, but it's just not on Bo. I know that's what everybody from the outside in is putting it on. Is he the key cog? Absolutely. But this team will go as he goes, but also the team will be as good as we can be when everybody collectively does their part too. So this isn't just on Bo.
And starting the season with 2 road games, does that kind of show how a team can handle adversity maybe early on?
That's perfect. It's been on the schedule. We don't have any comment about that. We're focused on Winnipeg. They're going to kick the ball off, as I tell our football team all the time, regardless, whether it's injuries, weather, whatever. The ball's going to be kicked off, so we'll be ready to play. Well, we'll find out exactly what they're seeing, but I think kind of what you're commenting on, Steve, is that, there are different faces, and some of the different faces are inexperienced faces, meaning inexperienced in first-year or second-year players in the CFL, but we've also acquired experience that are new faces. So I think they're separate, but the team does overall look different. If you're comparing 2 rosters, it definitely looks different. And so what that looks like on the field, playing a game, is really what's most important. So that's really what we're looking forward to. Yeah, we'll be prepared. We'll travel a few extra bodies in the unlikely event some other players aren't able to go. But, I anticipate everybody will be a full go. Right now, everybody's better on paper. Everybody's been through a training camp. Nobody's lost a game. Nobody has lost a key player in a regular season. Everything's fresh. Everybody's optimistic. And that's okay. The first games are always tough. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. The fact that we open up against the 2 teams that are in the Grey Cup, we're excited about that. We're super excited about it. A lot of respect for that organization over there, but, we're on a mission just like every other team's on a mission, so that's why you play the game.
That was Coach O, and he mentioned the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and they have released their roster for tomorrow's game. Zach Collaros, the back-to-back MOP. He'll be making the start for them. Last season, the Bombers failed to win another Grey Cup after falling to the Argos in that dramatic Grey Cup game. I'm sure one all CFL fans will not soon forget. Last year, the Bombers and Ticats split the season series 1-1, with both teams earning lopsided victories over the other. The first one was that Winnipeg win when they won 26-12, and the final meeting between the teams last year was in September. That was when Hamilton played, I think, probably one of their best games of the season, capturing the 48-31 win. There's going to be several differences between this Ticats team and the one from last year, and perhaps the biggest is QB Bo Levi Mitchell making his way to Hamilton, and I spoke to him about getting things started. Regular season debut for the Ticats tomorrow. Are you excited to get things going?
Oh, man, excited, anxious, nervous, and just ready to have some fun. You know what I mean? I think you get all the feelings first time you play with some guys, for the coaches, for this organization, and for the fans. So just excited to get out there, play some football, and just, decide what our brand of football is going to be.
And playing a team like Winnipeg, a team you're familiar with from out west, what's it like playing them?
I mean, man, it's a lot like playing here. As far as like when I was playing away at both these stadiums, I think the fans are always there. They're always engaged. They know when to cheer, when not to. So you've got to be on your P's and Q's when it comes to your cadence, your motions, communication. Got to have championship communication. Can't have can't break the huddle and not know what you have, or maybe the communication of the words that you said. So as long as you're doing that, now after that it's football. It's don't turn the ball over, score touchdowns, and score more points than them.
And starting the season on the road, does that maybe test the team's adversity, how they can handle adversity a little bit maybe early on?
Yeah, I mean, what else do you want? The best test you can possibly have is the team that's been kind of running the league for the last couple of years, and then in their stadium, and then Toronto in their stadium. The previous Grey Cup champs. So I think the best challenge we could have right now is exactly what we have in front of us, and I don't think anybody in this locker room would want it any other way.
With a very new group this year in Hamilton, Bo was asked what he's seen from this group so far.
Yeah, I see continuity. I see camaraderie. I see a team that's you've got some guys that have been here, some guys that are brand new but have been in the league for a long time. You've got some rookies that are, they're itching to play. Like O always says, rookies you gotta fight to play, and vets you gotta fight to stay. So in this team, I see a talented team, but talent doesn't get you very far if you don't have execution. So we have a talented team, but we got to put what we have on paper out there on the field. We gotta be successful. In order to do that, we got to play together and for each other.
Before Bo left, he talked about the grit of this football team and what it means to play in Hamilton.
I mean, it's all the time. It's every team. It's it's just kind of what this team and the backbone of what this team is we're in the Hammer. That's what our fans are. They're tough, they're gritty. We got to go out there and represent them, represent this city the way we best know how.
Big thanks to Bo Levi Mitchell for joining the show today, as well as Coach O. Always a pleasure chatting with them. Now, this Sunday, the Ticats will be having an autograph session, so that starts at 1:30. The Ticats dance and cheer team will be there. Pigskin Pete. There's going to be a barbecue, cold drinks, including $5 beers and snacks. Head down to Tim Hortons Field this Sunday to have your Ticats gear signed by the entire team. That's right, they'll all be there, and that goes down from 2 to 3 p.m. So go check it out, have some fun with the family, and we'll look forward to seeing you down there. That's all the time for me today. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you next time.